Hello, my dear friends. So, I want to share with you. I saw a post in my Facebook feed. I don't really read it much. I think most of Facebook is a waste of time, as probably 99.9% of the media in general. However, I saw a feed from a very great man. In fact, I'm alive because of this man, Sally Granner, who I don't want to go into the whole story. You can look him up. But thank God, through his intercession with the Japanese Consul General, my grandfather got a visa and I'm alive to tell the tale. And then I thought it was him, but somebody else was writing that the rabbis should tell everybody to make aliyah due to the threats. So I thought, as a rabbi, I do have a duty, I have an obligation to tell the Jews what to do. And so if you want to know what to do, the truth of the matter is there are 5 very important things to do. The very first thing is every generation has a tzaddik. It has a leader who really knows what's going on. It's very easy for people to get up and shoot off their mouth, oh, everybody should go to Israel, or everybody should do this, everybody should do that. You know, within the Jewish community, we have, what do they say, 2 Jews, 3 opinions. And that's a good thing. We're very opinionated. But if you have 2 opinions, that means 1 opinion is wrong, because there's only 1 opinion that's right. And so there's only 1 person in every generation that really is given the divine wisdom he's taken all the wisdom of the past, and he is a saint and a prophet as well, to really understand what is the mission. So the very first and foremost thing we have to understand is every generation has a mission. The Lubavitcher Rebbe has told us that our mission is to bring Mashiach. And so if any time we needed Mashiach, now is the time. Certainly the coronavirus threatens us not only physically, I think even more so economically. And this is not a joke. And it really, the Rebbe says, if there was 1 Jew who would truly cry for Mashiach, Mashiach would be here. In other words, often, and it's good to have money, it's good to be comfortable, but you should never be too comfortable. Because life is not about comfort. I was speaking to a Jew from Russia, a very clever guy, a doctor, actually, he's here in my city. And he was saying, most Jews, he was talking mainly about the Russian Jews, they don't want to go to Israel. One guy I know, but first he wants to make his money and then go to Israel. In other words, life is not about comfort, because once you get comfortable, comfort is a trap. It's one of the biggest traps that exist, because, there are 2 basic tests in life. There's a test of difficulty, which our ancestors went through, difficulties that we cannot even begin to imagine, and even the Jews who came out of Russia, and we live with Holocaust survivors, difficulties that no human being should ever have to go through. And then there's the test of prosperity. And you know what the test of prosperity is? Because I can say I've had both. The test of prosperity is not to be a moron. And let me explain to you what I mean by that. They say there are 3 things that work: alcohol, chassidus, and money. And alcohol will make you drunk. Chassidus will make you sensitive. And money will make you stupid. And if you have alcohol and you're not drunk, you need some more. And if you have chassidus and you're not sensitive, you're not edel, you need some more. If you have money and you're not stupid, then you need some more. Why? Why does the money make you... Now, it's not to put down money. Money is the greatest blessing. We should have all the money. We should all be millionaires and billionaires and trillionaires. Because money allows you to give tzedakah, allows you to serve God properly. Money is a very, very good thing. But I'm trying to bring out a point. That's why I'm speaking in this way. Because when you forget that the world is bigger than your little boat, the world is bigger than your little car, you don't realize what happens is it's not malicious. Again, I've been on both sides of the coin. And so therefore I can say very clearly, the person without the money is actually much wiser, much more in tune with reality than, so to say, we. And currently I'm in America, let's say in prosperity. I'm living in a city which is rated the best city to live in America. So when we get this prosperity, what happens is we basically become a victim of our circumstance. Very interesting concept, because a person would think, I have money, I'm free. No, you have money You're a slave to your own reality. Because if you're not willing to pick up this moment and go to Israel, I'm not saying that you should, but if you're not capable of doing it in the best of times, right? All of human history, there were Jews who went to Israel. It took them 3 months by boat. They had to get through Arab countries, whatever. And these people, they really sacrificed to get to the Holy Land. And once they were there, it wasn't easy. Today, they welcome you with open arms, right? They give you some money for coming. There's nefesh b'nefesh. But the point is, it's not easy. But if you want to make it happen, you can make it happen. I have a friend, he goes through his own issues, but he made Aliyah. He brought his whole family, even though he's divorced. He said, if you want to make it happen, you can make it happen. And so the point of the matter is, number one, don't be comfortable. Because if you're comfortable, you're stupid. It's very simple. It's like a drug. What do drugs actually do? Why do they take a person out of their mind? Because it makes them happy. So you say, what's wrong with being happy? So one of the most important Kabbalistic teachings, this is really my field, is the idea that in your heart, one side has to have joy and one side has to be crying. If you don't mix joy and crying, then either you're manic or you're depressed. You're not normal. A normal person is in the middle range. In fact, even the brain, the way we think best, is not when we're too relaxed or we're too nervous. Smack in the middle. When you have a little bit of tension and a little bit of tranquility. You need both. And that's really how the whole Judaism functions. You have Shabbos, you have the weekday. So a person should never have worry. But a person should also be focused and know that there are things that have to get done. And there's a mission, and the mission is to serve God. And once you understand that, then you're never going to be comfortable. Because if Mashiach is not here, it's your fault. If you and I were better people, Mashiach would have been here a long time ago. Why is Mashiach not here? Because we actually don't care. We're comfortable. At least I can tell you, I'm comfortable. So the point is that if we don't wake up to reality, which is don't be comfortable. God did not say, come into my world to be comfortable. He said, come into my world to bring Mashiach, to do the good that you have to do to change the world. So that's number one. Mission number one is your job is to bring Mashiach. How do you bring Mashiach? You add in Torah, you add in mitzvahs, you believe in every generation there's a Mashiach. The Mashiach is ready to come. But he's just waiting for you and for me to get off our tushes and to apply ourselves to the reality. And that's what it says. If there was a single tzaddik, a tzaddik gomer, that would do tshuva, how much more so anyone else? Complete tshuva, Mashiach would be here. What's complete tshuva? Tshuva means change. You figure out the purpose of your life. The purpose of your life is not to eat pina coladas or peanuts or whatever, however you call it. The purpose is to bring Mashiach. That's the purpose. How do you bring Mashiach? More Torah and mitzvahs, more love, more charity, more focused in the right direction, not in selfishness. How can I have more money or more fame or more this, more that? It's your mission. And if you're looking at this video, God is telling you this is what you have to do. This is your mission. That's number one. Number two, as Jews, we can never, this is very, very important. What I'm going to say is going to be very controversial, but I lived in Africa for 15 years. So I saw the mindset of reverse racism, right? There's tremendous reverse racism. I don't want to be negative. I'm not going to speak about it, but tremendous reverse racism. Racism is whether you think whites or blacks are a race. That's what racism is. When you say, for example, blacks are better, then you're a racist because you've judged someone by their skin color. And so therefore you have to understand that a lot of this radicalism is just reverse racism. That's all it is. There are these black radicals that are pure racists because Martin Luther King's was not, I have a dream that blacks will dominate whites, right? That's Nazism. Martin Luther King was that there won't be a judgment based on color. It will be a judgment based on character. And that is something we all struggle with, whether you're white, whether you're black. Your character and your character development is something that you need to work on. And then therefore you can have good whites and you can have bad whites. You can have good blacks and you have bad blacks, because it's based on the character. It's not based on the skin color. And this kind of black racism, which is we were victims and now you must give us your money, give us your country, and just be our servants, is evil and it's false. And it's very, I'm very sensitive to it because I saw it. But basically all these advertisements, suddenly from Obama, people, it's actually subconscious. What a lot of the media did, you look at shows, suddenly the black people are cool and the white people, they're like morons. Why? Because that's a black racist attitude. And, I would say in a way you can't blame them. Why can't you blame them? Because where does such a stupid idea come from? It comes from an inferiority complex. It's a typical narcissistic wounding, typical narcissist, which Obama was the narcissist of, he was the poster child of narcissism. And that is that you create a fake pride because you have a deep shame. The deep shame has nothing to do with race. It has to do, like he wrote, dreams of my father. They're abandoned. A lot of them, unfortunately, don't have fathers and this, that. They have a lot of shame. They have a lot of issues. Now, it's not to say there are millions of unbelievable black people in every segment of society. But the point is that you have a section which are narcissists. And in their narcissism, in their insanity, like Obama, they think that they're God. They think that they're the best. And the white people are basically, if they serve them, they can live. And it's just another form of terrorism and racism. And it's very important to understand that we, the Jewish people, are the ones that supported the black people because we understand that racism is wrong. It's about time that the black people, I don't want to generalize because black people in general are very good, but those that consider themselves black leaders, nutcases like Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson, let them support Israel. Let them support the Jewish people, because it's the height of disgusting chutzpah that we are the people that gave our lives, that gave everything. I lived in Africa. Without the Jews, there would have been no freedom for the blacks in Africa. The fact of the matter is that, reverse racism is just as bad as white versus black. So it's very important to understand clarity of what's going on. And in two simple words, it's called just narcissistic delusions. Anybody who thinks that because you're black, somehow you're better, somehow you're entitled, that is reverse racism. And what it really comes from is nothing to do with black and white. Sometimes people think, when I was in Africa, the blacks are doing crime. Okay, well, maybe we deserve it because we were bad before. Really? Who's the crime against? It's against the blacks. Who got killed in these riots? I don't watch the media, so I just heard one speech. A black man. So these are evil people. They don't care about color. They care about theft and power. That's number 2. Number 3, I want to tell you something that I learned this Shabbos. It's very, very, very important. People are worried about their health. And so the Lubavitcher Rebbe, and one of the things I like about the Lubavitcher Rebbe is the Lubavitcher Rebbe is a person that never lied. Everything he said, even if he was promoting Judaism, he did it intentionally for the benefit of the person he was speaking to. When he spoke to you, he didn't come and he tried to do what was good for you. If Judaism is good, Judaism. If it was taking a pill, take the pill. He was focused on the individual. So when the Rebbe said something, it wasn't propaganda. It was real. And the Rebbe said that we're coming, this week's Parsha, we're coming up to Parshas Nosei. We're coming up to the Torah of Mashiach, an infinite dimension. Now, the thing is, number 1, to get healthy, read the Rambam. These are the words of the Rebbe. Read the Rambam on health. Apart from the fact, elsewhere the Rebbe speaks very clearly that the Rambam says that if you follow my diet, which practically today means if you follow healthy eating practices, as well as, like he says, exercise, etc., not to waste seed. If you follow my diet, you will never get ill. The body is very resilient, and I don't mean to, God forbid, make anyone feel guilty, right? Some things are out of our control. But the fact is that this disease is really affecting people with secondary issues. And that means that if we strengthen our body, and this is a very important lesson, you can't mess with nature. I don't know if you ever saw Jurassic Park. So you shouldn't see movies, but a while ago when I used to, I saw it. So one of the scientists, he says, can't mess with nature. It doesn't work. We're products of nature. And God comes and he sends us the Rambam, and every medical study in the book is proving what he says. You eat healthy, you stay healthy. You eat like crap, you'll end up like crap. It's very simple. And I remember watching an Oprah show, she had Dr. Oz, and he brought literally organs like the heart, the liver. And what he was showing us was that it's not just one thing. The food you eat affects everything. It strengthens your heart. It strengthens your brain. It strengthens your muscles. It strengthens everything. Exercise has been proven. It works. You have to walk a half hour a day like there's a little fire behind you. You have to do that. This is what the Rambam is telling you to do. You got to do it. So it's really critical to understand. The Rebbe says, study the words of the Rambam. He actually just says to study it, but elsewhere he speaks about practicing good health. And the Rebbe was very into preventative health. And it's very important. I see it with myself. The way I eat is the way I feel. My body is, there is a very great doctor, brilliant man. And one of the things he told me, he says, listen to your body. Your body is going to tell you, this is not good for me. This is good for me. I can feel different parts of my body when I have different things, how it affects me. A simple example is milk. Milk will give me, sort of clog me up. Okay, you don't have to be a genius. Don't have milk. It's not good for you. So I'm not saying your body, but I'm just telling you it's obvious. Listen to your body. And then the Rebbe says we have to study Torah. You have to study Torah every morning, every evening. Torah study is a must. There's a friend of mine, a great rabbi, he said, we're in a time where every excuse that I'll do it when I have time has gone out the window. Torah study, you have to study Torah. Particularly you have to study the Chitas every morning, Chumash, the Tehillim, the Tanya, the Rambam. These are must, and if you do this, I don't want to be too lengthy, I've been very long already. If you've made it here, well done. It really makes a difference. The words of Torah is a direct channel to God. You have to study the Torah, and more importantly, you have to teach others. That's the most important mitzvah, to reach out to your fellow Jew. Reach out with love. And the last two messages that I have, message number 2, is you have to believe that Mashiach is about to come. You have to think positive. You know, the Alter Rebbe, who wrote the epic book, if you haven't read the Tanya, you have to read the Tanya. It's a soul map. The Alter Rebbe says that if you have a little fear, you can't think properly. It makes you sad. You cannot live in any fear. You cannot, under any circumstance, watch the media. You know, 2 weeks before the 2016 election, I got so sick of the media circus, Trump and Clinton and back and forth. I said, that's it. No more media for me. So that's 2016, and now it's 2020. That's 4 years. Let me tell you, they've been from the best 4 years of my life. And I have many friends that do the same thing. And it's very clear. You can just look at someone's face and tell if they're watching the media or not. How would you feel if every single day somebody poured on you acid? What do you think? You're going to feel good? There are studies that prove you watch the media, it increases your anxiety. Now, this is very important because if you have anxiety in one field, you might think, oh, you know, there's a riot there. What difference? Or there's a corona, or there's a this or that. It doesn't work like that. The heart has a danger signal. As it picks up, they actually call it a startle response. So, for example, if you want to test somebody's anxiety levels, what you can do is you can do this. Does that startle the person? Because a person who's feeling safe won't get startled. But a person who's feeling afraid, any little thing is possible danger. That's why when we're in fear, we're very carefully, we're analyzing everything. Because the brain says things are bad. So listen carefully to what I'm saying. If you watch the media, your perception of reality is that things are bad. Therefore, anything and everything can cause you anxiety. Now, I want to ask you a question. Would you like to live a reality where you walk outside and a leaf turns, you feel afraid? Because if you want to live in freedom and enjoy, shut the media down. And listen, nobody has died from not watching the media. It ain't going to make a difference. If there's something real, it's going to come your way. I guarantee you. And so the bottom line is, get the poison out of your box. And all media, all YouTube videos, unless it's something educational, all movies, they're all toxic poison. Never mind on sneers, the immorality, which puts ideas in your head. It's poison, poison, poison. And so I've had from the best 4 years of my life, and one of the factors is the fact that I don't watch the media. So positive thinking every morning when you wake up, you have to thank Hashem for all your blessings. The first thought of the day is the train of thought, very, very important. I'm going to leave you with one other thing that gives me great pleasure and joy in my life, and that's doing exactly what I'm doing now. Every day I study some Torah and I take out quotes, and then I have a blog. It's very easy to have a blog. And thank God with time, these things build with time. So after many years, I have a number of subscribers, people that come. It's all there on the internet. People can search it. I have Facebook. I have a couple thousand people. And I see that there's some traction there. It goes out to a Twitter feed. It goes on to, this is a little YouTube channel that I have. I go into Quora. You can become an expert on Quora, answer people's questions. That's a really big mitzvah. The point is, never in human history has it been easier to help people. And you have a choice. And I'm going to leave you with this, because this is the most important moment of your life. All of life boils down to one choice. Will I live for the rest of my life? Because unless you make a change, you will continue doing the way you're doing. And it breaks my heart, because I have friends which are amazing people. And some of them are wealthy and they have companies. But they were brought up secular. And they don't get the idea that life is about giving. Because wherever they were brought up, life was about taking. The secular world, even the charity they give, it's like the Rabbis says, what's the difference between the Jewish word for charity and the secular word? Because the Jewish word is tzedakah. It's just. It's unjust that my brother doesn't have money. The Gentile word is charity. I'm being benevolent. So even the charity comes with a sense of arrogance and a sense of greatness. If you want to make a life, you have to give your life.